I got into bowling because of my dad. My dad's friends at work joined the league and they asked my dad to be a sub, so not on the actual team, but as a backup. And my dad, the type of man that he is if he's gonna do something, he's gonna do it all out. So he got his own equipment, got his own bowling shoes, and practiced all the time. I was only 11. And I thought bowling was still about birthday parties and cosmic lights, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And so I would beg him to take me along and we would practice together. And he would point out people that were also practicing and just be like, you know, see what she's doing, see what he's doing, see how their legs doing this and how their arms doing that. See if you can try your best to mimic that. And so I tried and I had a great time doing it with him when finally the pro shop owner at the bowling alley noticed my dad and I, and he said, "Hey, I see you and your daughter bowling all the time. She seems to really enjoy it. Would she be interested in lessons?" And at this time, like I liked sports, but I didn't really do any sports. And so this was my first taste of competing and getting lessons and doing stuff like that. And I just absolutely fell in love. Bowling doesn't run in our family. Like my grandparents, like my dad and his parents would watch bowling Saturday mornings, you know, when bowling was like in its heyday, and like that's just what was on TV. You know, we have abundance of channels nowadays, whereas, not trying to date my dad, but you know, my dad was born in the early 60s, and so bowling was just on TV. But that's about the extent of it. Like, I don't come from a bowling family. Bowling is just something that I kind of fell into, and fortunately for me, ended up really, really loving, and also fortunately being good at. I bowled in high school, really enjoyed doing that. I had a really great time learning how to kind of function in a team. Like, I really enjoyed that team aspect, and I would do tournaments on the side. As I got older and was talking to people, they're like, "Hey, you can get a scholarship to bowl in college." And you know, I was literally talking to my dad the other day. You know, bowling has done so much for me in my life. Like, I had a great time in college, and I think education is amazing. And if you have the ability to do it, that's amazing. But without bowling, I wouldn't have went to college. Like, that just wasn't in the cards for me and my family. So the fact that I have, you know, had the opportunity for higher education, that's because of bowling. So my junior year is when I started sending out tapes. Everyone's just like, you gotta send tapes. You gotta do it from the front to the side, the back, show them your spare game. And so I got somebody to do this footage, and I sent it out to a couple schools, and 17-year-old me, you know, at the time was like, I wanna go somewhere that wins. Like, I don't quite know what I want to do in college. I know I want to go into the sciences, but like, I want to go to a program that wins. And immediately off the top of my head, that's Nebraska and that's Vanderbilt. In 2013, I won junior gold. And I remember specifically Coach Bill Straub, like after I won junior gold, he came up to me and he patted me on the back. He's like, "Congrats, that's great." He's like, "But why? Now everybody knows who you are." And I thought that was the funniest thing. Cause like before, like the year that I won junior gold was the first time I made the cut. Like, I never made the first cut prior to that. And so to make the first cut and then win the tournament, like nobody really knew who I was outside of like Illinois and like the youth tournaments there. So that was basically how I was recruited. Like, it was very nice process. You know, Coach Straub and Coach Klemper reached out to me and kind of gave me a rundown of the program and expressed their interest, and I took my visit and I absolutely fell in love with the program. My deciding factor was the city, the people, like the community of Lincoln. I think Lincoln is such a unique city. You know, it's the capital of the state, but it's very still kind of small town, hometown vibes. For me, being from Illinois, going from a Midwest town to another Midwest town fit really nice. It felt very seamless. And the athletic department at Nebraska, I knew that if I went here, I was going to be treated like an athlete, and I was going to be able to get the resources not only to become a better bowler, but also become a better person. And so I'm really grateful for my time at Nebraska for giving me the tools to essentially learn how to be a grown-up.
Julia Bond. Can't wait to watch Julia Bond and Stephanie Schwartz for the next 4 years, huh?
When I came in as a freshman, the PWBA tour wasn't happening yet. And so at the time, my mindset was, I'm here to get an education. I'm here to bowl, win as many national championships as I can. We get what we get. But then my sophomore year is when the tour came back. It kind of felt like there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Like as a freshman, I already accepted that, probably after college, I'm gonna bowl tournaments, but time to be an adult, time to get a big girl job. But when it came around, I was just like, oh dang, like I can keep doing this. Like it's hard to put into words. To know that there was something competitive at the end of the tunnel was very nice. And I would say it motivated me, like during my college career. Yeah, I still wanted to be the best collegiate bowler I could, but now it felt like I was taking some steps to elevate my game to the next level. In my heart, I knew what I wanted to do, but also I had to think about my future. It's lovely chasing your dreams. If you have the opportunity to chase your dreams, that's great, and I always say do it. But at the end of the day, you still have to consider your life and your future and what's best for you or for your family and the people around you. Naturally, when my collegiate career was done, like I had a decision to make. Did I want to essentially take the risk and bowl on tour? Or did I want to start the process of, doing the big girl job stuff and, building a career? What I tell people is that I truly believe in my heart that regardless of which path I would have chose, I think I would have been happy. Even though I decided to bowl on tour, my parents and I decided, because I moved in with them, they were very nice. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all the support. But we were like, go on tour for 3 years, see how you like it. We need to have a plan. We need to figure out how we're gonna make this work. And so we said, in 3 years, see what happens at the end of 3 years and we'll revisit. And I had my rookie year, which was good. It was okay, nothing crazy. And then COVID happened, so I lost that year. And then 2021 is when I won 3 titles in 1 year. So looking at my 3-year timeline, it seemed like we were on the right track.
And Julia Bond needs 5, we'll get 10, and we'll get a win. Great bowling for the top seed, Julia Bond, and time to raise that trophy as the regional showdown winner.
Great finish.
Julia Bond, the winner of the 2021 PWBA Hall of Fame Classic.
Huge shot right there.
My goodness, what a finish for Julia Bond.
Unbelievable.
Julia Bond has won her 3rd title on the PWBA Tour, has injected herself into the top 3 in Player of the Year race. So she joins one very prestigious list of champions, including the woman she beats in Missy Park, and including the 2 women who are with me today. Your champion is Julia Bond in the 2021 USBC Queens.
That Queens is special, obviously because it was my first major. But if I'm being very, very honest with you, I don't remember a lot of it. It was one of those weeks that I made a lot of good decisions and things essentially felt like they fell into place. And so if you ask me specific things, I don't think I can really tell you. For that one to be my first major, I think that's impressive, to go through the bracket undefeated. And I remember one of our ball reps, it was Jim Callahan, like after it was said and done, he told me, he's like, I knew you were gonna win from like the first day. And I was just like, you're lying, but okay. He's like, no, you just looked good, you looked calm. And that's something that sticks with me. When you win 3 titles in one season, like it feels like anything after that is gonna naturally feel like a dip. I'm in a little bit of a valley. And I think what's really important is how you navigate those valleys. Who are you in those dips? What are you doing to fight it, more or less? It's like, what are you working on in practice? What are you doing on the mental side to not be in that place? I think it's not a good place to be where you've learned everything that you could possibly learn, but being able to take it in stride. And I still get frustrated, and that's something that I'm working on. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and tell you that like, oh, it was fine, I was over it, like I wrote in my journal and everything's okay. Like it took me a good day to emotionally kind of process it. And I want to get better in the future. I don't always want to take a day after a bad performance, but sometimes you just need that. Like, just because it hurt and just because it was painful doesn't mean that I can't learn something from it. That's where I'm at right now, learning how to navigate those moments and feeling like I'm so close, but feeling like I'm falling short. And again, comparison is the thief of joy. There's so many talented women out here, and so when you see other people succeed, of course we're gonna clap, we're gonna snap, we're gonna be happy for those people, because to win a title out here is so incredibly amazing and it's an accomplishment. But then there's a part of you, like in the back of my head, there's just like, why can't that be you? What are you doing wrong? And it's really easy to get in that headspace. But I'm navigating that, essentially allowing myself to have those mistakes, to learn, to grow. You have won titles, you've been in that spot, but just allowing myself to just compete and be who I am and not be afraid of who that person is. And I think that's another reason why I love bowling so much and why I love the tour, is that it gives me a space to be that person. I enjoy emotional control. Like, I think that's an important aspect of being successful on tour. But I feel like this allows me a place to be confident, but to also be angry and to be frustrated and to have those big feelings, but not be afraid to have those big feelings. Because I'm on a stage that's given me the opportunity to be in that position to have those feelings. I'm navigating a valley right now, but I feel like I'm in a different space, emotionally and mentally. And I feel like we're gonna see me do some really cool things. And I don't know when that is. I don't know if it's this week or next month. Maybe it's next year, but I feel like I'm onto something.